Time to walk away, a stoic guide to knowing when to let go. The hardest decision. Walking away, imagine this. You're holding onto a rope. At first it's fine, but as time passes, it starts cutting into your hands. You feel pain, yet you hesitate to let go. Why? Because you're afraid of what happens next. Walking away is one of the hardest decisions in life. Whether it's from a toxic relationship, a draining job, a failing project, or a destructive habit, letting go feels like defeat. But here's the truth. Sometimes walking away is not weakness, it's strength. The Stoic philosophers, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, taught us that life is about knowing what to hold on to and what to release. They understood that clinging to the wrong things leads to suffering. Today, we'll explore when and why to walk away and how stoicism can guide us to do it with clarity and courage. Let's begin. In parts of South Asia, hunters use a clever monkey trap. They hollow out a hole in a coconut or log, place a fruit inside, and chain it down. A monkey, smelling the treat, reaches in and grabs the food, but the opening is too small for its closed fist. The monkey won't let go. It frantically pulls and fights, trapping itself because it refuses to release the bait. All the monkey needed to do was let go to be free, but it holds on, and the trappers easily capture it. How often are we like that monkey? We hold on to relationships, jobs, habits, even when they hurt us, because we're clinging to what we think we need. We become prisoners of our own grip, afraid to release what's familiar. The result? We stay stuck, unable to move forward. The moral of the monkey story is clear. Letting go can set you free. Walking away from something that no longer serves you is sometimes the smartest and strongest thing you can do. It's not cowardice or weakness. It takes courage. As one psychologist put it, sometimes the bravest thing you can do is walk away. In this speech, let's explore why knowing when to walk away is an act of wisdom and strength, not defeat. Why we struggle to walk away. Common fears holding us back. If walking away is so freeing, why do we struggle so much to do it? The truth is, several powerful fears and mental barriers keep us holding on long after we should let go. You might recognize some of these in your own heart. Fear of the unknown. We often prefer an unhappy certainty over an uncertain future. If we leave, what comes next? Many people stay in bad situations because they can't visualize a better future and fear being alone or unsupported. The saying, "Better the devil you know than the devil you don't," holds them hostage. This fear of the unknown can loom larger than our current misery, making change seem more daunting than it truly is. We imagine all the worst what-ifs, letting anxiety trump our need for peace. The sunk cost fallacy. Psychology tells us we're biased to stick with things we've invested a lot in, even if they're not good for us. I've already spent years in this career relationship. Leaving would waste it all, we tell ourselves. We feel a false obligation to keep pushing on simply because of the time, money, or effort we've already put in. This sunk cost fallacy is why people stay in jobs, relationships, or projects long after joy's gone. They're chasing the value of past investments that can't be recovered. In reality, clinging to a mistake won't fix it or redeem those lost years. It often just loses more. Guilt and attachment. Walking away can make us feel guilty, as if we're betraying someone or giving up. We worry about hurting others or seeming like a failure. In toxic relationships, for example, we might think leaving means we didn't try hard enough. But as one counselor notes, One of the biggest hurdles is realizing you did not fail by leaving. It simply means the situation failed to support you. We become emotionally attached to the familiar, even if it's hurting us. And that attachment comes with guilt at the idea of cutting ties. Remember, deciding to save your own well-being is not selfish. Letting go doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care about yourself, too. Hope that things will change. This is the quiet voice that says, maybe if I just hold on a bit longer, it will get better. We fantasize about the good moments, clinging to memories of how it used to be, or promises of improvement. A part of us lives in denial, hanging on and hoping the situation will magically turn around. But as time passes with no real change, we end up trading our time and peace for a maybe. It's painful to admit that our hope isn't materializing. Yet sometimes the kindest thing we can do for ourselves is to stop hoping for a different past or a different person and accept reality. Only then can we move on to something better. These fears keep many people stuck in unhappy situations. We all know someone who stayed in a bad relationship or dead-end job for far too long. Maybe you have been that person. Author Mark Manson describes how often neither person is happy, yet the two people stay. For years and years, people hang on. They keep waiting, worrying, or reasoning themselves into staying, even as their joy withers. On the other hand, there are inspiring examples of those who found freedom in walking away. One former attorney, Pooja, spent 7 years in a career that left her unfulfilled, partly out of guilt and cultural pressure. She finally reached a breaking point, stepped into the unknown, and quit. In her words, she found peace in knowing that the ultimate investment is the one I make towards my happiness. By letting go of what wasn't right, she made room for a life that was. Stories like hers remind us that while leaving is hard, the reward can be a renewed sense of peace, purpose, and self-worth on the other side. Signs that it's time to walk away. How to know when you should leave. How do you know if you should walk away from something? Listen to your inner truth and examine the situation honestly. Here are some clear signs that it may be time to leave. When you're no longer growing. If a relationship, job, or habit is keeping you stuck in place and stunting your growth, it might be time to go. Healthy situations challenge and enrich us. Toxic ones trap us in stagnation. Ask yourself, am I becoming a better version of me here, or a smaller version? If you feel yourself shrinking in confidence and creativity and spirit, that's a red flag. Life is too short to remain in places that don't help you evolve. When it brings more pain than peace, every situation has ups and downs, but if the downs vastly outweigh the ups, reconsider why you're enduring it. Do you feel dread or anxiety every day? Are you more often sad, drained, or hurt than you are content? When a job makes you lose your sleep and health, or a relationship causes tears more than smiles, the pain is overpowering the joy. Even world-class athletes know when to step back for their well-being. In 2021, Olympic gymnast Simone Biles shocked the world by withdrawing from competition to protect her mental health. Many applauded her bravery for recognizing that her peace and safety mattered more than pushing through pain. Remarkably, after taking time away to heal, she returned and once again became an Olympic champion. Proof that walking away from harm's path can lead you to come back stronger. Your situation might not be the Olympics, but the principle stands. If staying is causing you harm, prioritize your well-being and step away. When you're staying out of fear, not choice. Be honest. Are you in this situation because you choose it or because you're afraid to leave? If the main thing keeping you there is fear of change, fear of judgment, or fear of the unknown, then you're effectively living in a mental cage. Fear is not a good counselor for life decisions. The absence of a better option isn't a reason to settle for misery. Freedom begins where fear ends. Don't stay with a partner solely because you're afraid no one else will love you, or remain in a job only because you're afraid of being without a paycheck for a while. Staying should be an active choice, not a default born of fear. Courageously walking away can open new doors that fear kept shut. When you constantly justify staying, do you find yourself making excuses to explain why you haven't left? It's not that bad. Things might improve. I'm only doing it for the kids, for the money. If you have to convince yourself daily to put up with it, then your heart already knows the truth. Consistently justifying a situation is often a sign that, deep down, you realize it's unhealthy. Your intuition is asking for change. Pay attention to the mental gymnastics you perform to stay. If you're constantly battling your own logic and feelings, it may be time to stop fighting and start packing. When your values and purpose no longer align, people grow and change. Sometimes we simply outgrow a situation. Perhaps what you once wanted is not what your soul craves now. If a situation forces you to compromise your core values or ignore your life's purpose, it's a strong signal to walk away. Think of historical examples. Siddhartha Gautama, who we now know as the Buddha, was a prince surrounded by luxury, but he realized that life of indulgence no longer aligned with his quest for truth. He made the bold choice to leave his palace and privileged life behind, walking away to live as a wandering seeker. That journey of letting go led him to enlightenment and a profound legacy of wisdom. Similarly, if you find that who you are or who you aspire to be fundamentally clashes with your current path, have the courage to depart. No title, no relationship, no amount of money is worth losing your integrity or your soul's calling. Any one of these signs alone might not mean quit immediately, but if several ring true, it's time to seriously reevaluate why you're still holding on. History and our own lives show that recognizing these signs is the first step. Leaders and thinkers throughout time have chosen to walk away when necessary. From ancient sages leaving royalty to modern icons stepping down from power for the greater good, they knew that sometimes walking away is winning back your peace, your values, and your life. How to walk away with strength, leaving the right way. Deciding to walk away is tough, but actually doing it can be even tougher. How do you leave without falling apart or burning bridges? How do you ensure that walking away makes you stronger? Here are some strategies to help you walk away with strength and grace. Gain clarity. Know why you're leaving. Before you make any big move, get clear on your reasons. Journal about what you're feeling, write down pros and cons, talk it out with a trusted friend, mentor, or counselor. By articulating your pain and hopes, you solidify your resolve. Clarity is power. When you know deep down why this isn't working and what you need instead, it fortifies your decision. Some people even find clarity by experiencing something different. Recall the attorney Pooja's story. She only realized how unhappy she was in law when she saw how passionate and alive she felt doing something else. Sometimes stepping away mentally, through reflection or time off helps you see the truth. So take time to reflect. A clear why will give you the courage to carry through when doubts creep in. Take small steps if needed. Walking away doesn't always happen in one dramatic leap. It's okay to ease out gradually if that makes it more feasible. You might start by setting boundaries or reducing your involvement. For instance, if you're planning to leave a toxic job, begin by quietly job searching on the side or saving money as a cushion. If you're ending a relationship, you might first take a short break to live separately and gather your thoughts. These small steps build momentum. Each step proves to you that you can survive outside that situation. It's like wading into a cold ocean inch by inch. Not everyone can dive in head first. What matters is that you're moving in the right direction. Small steps also give you a chance to plan your exit thoughtfully. Pack your things, tie up loose ends, make contingency plans, so when you finally walk away, you're as prepared as possible. Expect resistance. Stand firm. Prepare yourself. Not everyone will understand or support your decision. You might face resistance from others. Perhaps a pleading partner, an angry boss, or concerned family who think you're making a mistake. Even more challenging, you'll face resistance from your own mind. There will be moments of doubt, loneliness, or second-guessing. This is normal. Remind yourself of the clarity you gained earlier. Stay firm in your resolve by remembering why you chose to leave. You can acknowledge others' feelings without being derailed by them. If friends or family question you, you might say, "I understand you're worried, but I've thought about this carefully and it's the right choice for me." Stay respectful but resolute. Every hero's journey faces opposition before the happy ending. Think of it as the final test of your determination. Hold the vision of the healthier, happier life you're walking toward. Eventually, the noise will quiet down, and those who truly care about you will come around. Let go of guilt. Choose self-respect. As you walk away, leave the guilt behind you. Feeling guilty for putting yourself first is common, especially if you're used to pleasing others. But remember, choosing yourself is not a crime. It is an act of self-respect. You are allowed to leave a story that no longer serves you. Give yourself permission to prioritize your mental and emotional health. If thoughts of guilt surface, am I being selfish? Counter them with a loving truth. I deserve happiness and respect. By walking away, I am not destroying anything good. I am making space for better things. Often, when you leave toxic situations, you're not just helping yourself, but also the other people involved, whether they realize it or not. For example, in that toxic workplace story earlier, the woman who left her job realized she could no longer support the mission of the company. By leaving, she upheld her integrity and freed her team to find someone who truly believed in the work. Dropping the burden of guilt will allow you to walk with your head high. Yes, you can be sad or compassionate about what you're leaving, but you do not need to carry shame for deciding to live authentically. Transformative example. Let's put these steps into a real context. Remember Pooja, the lawyer-turned-writer? Her journey of walking away followed this pattern. First, she gained clarity. On a trip abroad, she experienced a surge of happiness and purpose when surrounded by passionate writers, a feeling she never had in her legal career. That clarity showed her what was missing in her life. Next, she dealt with internal resistance, fears of what will people think, or log kya kahenge, as she recalled, and overcame the guilt of abandoning a career she had invested years in. With her family's support, her husband texted back about time when she said she wanted to quit. She took the leap. Was it scary? Absolutely. But she left with her self-respect intact, knowing she was choosing a path true to herself. In the months that followed, she describes a whirlwind of self-discovery and finally finding peace in investing in her own happiness. Her life was transformed, not because walking away was easy, but because she did it with purpose and strength. So can you. Whether your story is about leaving an unfulfilling career, ending a toxic relationship, or breaking a harmful habit, you can walk away in a way that empowers you. Plan it out, build your support, and then take that step. Your future self will thank you. Final thought. Walking away is seldom easy. It takes guts to break the mold of familiarity and step into the open air of the unknown. But remember this, sometimes the best way to move forward is to walk away. It's how you reclaim your freedom and steer your life toward the hope of something better. Every ending leaves room for a new beginning. So I leave you with a question, a personal challenge. What is one thing in your life that you know in your heart you need to walk away from today? It could be big or small, a toxic friendship, a draining routine, or an old grudge. Identify it. Acknowledge that you've been holding on too tightly, and then muster your courage and choose yourself. You have the strength to release that weight. Walking away isn't running from life, it's moving toward your true life. Trust yourself. Take that step and don't look back. Your future is waiting, and it all starts when you decide it's time to walk away.